What's up, everybody? It is not the Colum Tyrrell podcast. This is me just checking in on you. And just checking in on you. That's Bill Burr. That's my impression of Burr. Dude, brutal. Women are cunts. I just do my act. My impression of Burr. Oh, fucking midgets. Love on the fucking spectrum. Fucking goofball bumble, am I right? Fuck. Brutal. Burr's the GOAT. You might put Burr's the GOAT, right? Yeah. If you said Burr's the best of all time, certainly he's probably my favorite. I would certainly say he's probably my favorite, right? But who cares? Who gives a fuck about that shit? Subjective, all that stuff. I did put out a tweet. I on X, on the platform formerly known as Twitter. I X'd a X, and I just said, like, cause it was a joke about how many specials there are. Everyone has 15 specials, and the question would be, how do you get that? How do you get special again? You know, even like HBO. That's my HBO. I'm like Michael Winslow today. Even HBO, 5 years ago, they started putting out dog shit, you know? Are you a chick with a ukulele and has a message about global warming? So HBO traditionally was like the gold standard, and then that went shit. So they're all shit. There is no gold standard anymore. There's no, like, I guess it's just about how many people watch it. But I posted the fucking thing. So I don't know, maybe someone needs a new channel. Maybe there needs to be a new, like, this is the holy grail of stand-up specials, and if it goes on ours, that means it's the best, or something like that. I don't know how you would do that, because there'd be no financial incentive, you know? So I put out a thing. Not a podcast. This isn't a podcast, by the way. Just checking in. Not a podcast. I put out an X, and I said, of the 30,000 specials released this year, where did mine land? And it was a comment. I was commentating. It was a bit of social commentary about how many specials are out there right now, and a lot of people answered sincerely, which I was not looking for. That was not the case. And then a lot of people just listed the other people. They just named people that they thought my special was better at, which is, again, not the case. I did that once before. I don't know what I did. I posted a tweet back when it was Twitter. I started to dead name the app there. But back when it was Twitter, I posted something like, "Oh, there's a comedian on stage bombing. Try guess who it is." And then they started tagging people a lot, and I had to quickly delete it because that was not my intention. I'm a good boy here, okay, folks? Rough on the outside, soft on the inside, kind of like your mother's cunt. I'm a good boy, all right? So I deleted that, but where does the special rank overall? You know, I would say, truthfully, it's the best. It's without a doubt the best special anyone did all year. No one came close. Name a single person who came close. Fucking Shane Gillis stinks. Fucking Louis C.K. stinks. Nick Mullen stinks. They all stink. I'm obviously kidding, but you know, am I in a top couple of hundred? Maybe, you know, I don't really know. There's too many to really know. How many have you seen? I just listed 3 people that I didn't watch. I did them. I saw Louis C.K.'s and this is interesting, right? Because a lot of people wrote on the tweet, they took it sincerely, but they were like, "I'd put you 4th," and they give you like a sincere. I was like, if I'm in your top 4 specials of the year, you just haven't watched enough, or you just don't know what you're talking about. And I mean that in like, as in, you're an idiot. I mean that in the sense that you're a fucking moron if you think mine was in the fucking top 10 of the year. There's just, John Mulaney's I never finished. That must be better. There's hundreds of them. Santino I've never seen. Mullins I saw a lot of. so fucking good. Shane, I saw live, so I never saw the special, but I need to watch it. But you can only, assuming it was the exact same fucking special word for word from the live thing, phenomenal. So many great specials released, but thanks, I guess. I can't even remember why I brought that up, but I don't think that was a good special. The next one's gonna fucking change. If you think that was good, the next one's gonna fucking rock your world. Go check me on the road, folks. Check me on the road. I've got loads of dates. ColumTyrrell.com. I'm not gonna list them all, but just go over there. And if you don't see where you want to see me, there's a mailing list thing where you fill it out, and then you type in the town you're in or the city you're in, and then if I'm ever playing there, you'll just get an alert that whatever. Maybe I'll send out. I've never done it. I've had it for like 8 months. I've never looked at it once. I looked at it before, and there was like 300 names to sign up, and then I never sent them an email once. So I just did Denver. There was probably a bunch of Denver cunts waiting for an email. Go over and sign up for the email list then. Maybe I'll send out a little Christmas thing, like a little photo of me and my dog at a Christmas tree. And by dog, I mean my girlfriend, soon to be wife. So check me on the road, and you know it's nice. I'm gotten to the point now, right, where I always felt like I was a better stand-up than a lot of other comedians, right? Obviously, look at them. They're shy. They're dickheads. But they always played all the clubs, you know? I was never doing it. I was like doing the shitty rooms in New York, bar shows, all that type of stuff. And now, big things are happening for Collie T. I'm on the rough, but now, yeah, I'm not selling any tickets, sure, but I'm on the same fucking marquees as all these other people that I don't think is that good. But now they could always say, well, I'm on the road, I'm doing the clubs, and now I'm on the fucking road and I'm doing the clubs, and I guarantee you I'm bringing the heat. Well, I'm trying my best. What can I say? That's all as much as I can say. I don't know about bringing the heat, but the next special will be good. I'm not going to take, like, what is it now? It's December now. I'm going to take 2 years, I think, with the new special. From the last special released to now, I've been really kind of working, trying to get some new stuff, but now I've got the foundation, so, you know, haven't learned what I learned about how bad that last special was, in my opinion. That doesn't mean it's worse than other people's, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What's Conor McGregor say? I'm a fucking novice. But compared to everyone else, I'm a black belt. Something like that. So the reason the episode is not a pod, the reason the episode is late, the episode's coming out on Wednesday. By the way, if an episode the episode's going to start coming out on Wednesday now, by the way. Now that we're going to change studio, this is the last time you'll ever see this ugly backdrop, so come on, move along, fuck off. Go home. You don't have to stay here, folks, but you don't have to go home, folks, but you can't stay here. Come on now, please, folks. Have you not got homes to go to? Please, folks, now move along. That's what the bouncers say. If you ever go to Dublin and drink pints into the late hours, they will say, that wasn't recorded. Now I would probably go kill myself. Hold on a second. Jesus Christ, for not a podcast, it's 12 minutes in. That's crazy. The reason, that's what they say in Dublin, blah, blah, blah. The reason this episode's not a podcast, right? And it's supposed to come out on Wednesdays. We're changing the studios. So, whatever. But the podcast isn't going anywhere. But because I'm getting rid of the studios, that's fucking couple of grand a month I'm going to be saving myself with the new location. So, I'm passing that savings onto the consumer, and let's be honest, the Patreon wasn't exactly popping off, so I've lowered it to $1 for a limited time. There's a few spots left. You can get up to the Patreon for $1 now. On the Patreon on this podcast, originally I had two guests. I had Tim Butley and Naeem Ali from Philly's finest, the scumbags. Naeem's a black guy, all right, so if anyone ever asks, let them know. If I ever, tell people I'm a good guy. Very funny episode, but something happened with one of the, I thought it was a wire, but whatever. One of the fucking preamps that I have broke. So then Tim Bullerly's pod mic didn't work for the whole episode, and I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. So what we did was we got the camera audio, and rather than just throw that shit away, I just slapped it up behind the paywall as a little treat, as a little treat for the paywall pigs. So head over there if you want. It's only $1. Also, you can, if you sign up for a year, you get the entire year for $10.08. So why not get your 2024? You'll no more weekly subs shit. This is like just a year. Just get the year. No more subbing. The subbing shit is dead. You just get the year for a tenner. You don't think this is worth a tenner? By the way, I never have guests on the Patreon, but it's just me like this. This is more or less like kind of like what the Patreon is like. So head over there, Tim Budley, Naeem Ali, very funny. Check out their podcasts. Do Rag and the Dare Tag, and Dad Meat, obviously. It could also be Dare Tag and the Do Rag, but I'm not quite sure about that. But I'm gonna do that podcast soon, next time I'm down in Philly. And then the boys are gonna come back up, and we're gonna do a real. So if 25 cents a week for an extra episode is too much for you, we will have the boys come back up. So I appreciate it. I also want to say, I guess, interesting week in I guess New York, or the comedy scene. Kenny DeForest, very funny comedian. From he's one of the Chicago boys. I don't know exactly where he was from actually, but I just can't remember. But he passed away tragically. Got into an accident on the road, So get out, but fucking be safe out there, folks. Put on a fucking I was thinking recently I was gonna start city biking around the place, maybe just get the extra fucking calories in there, but there's no way I'm not. I know who drives in New York City. It's people like fucking me. Also, I've been a bartender in New York City. Everyone's fucking doing the chicken dance, walking into their cars about to drive home. So wear a fucking helmet if you can. I don't know anything about Kenny, and I don't know anything what happened to him. I'm just saying in general. There's no fucking way. I'm 33 years old. There's no way I'm fucking not. I'm dressed up like Iron Man or something. If I'm gonna be on a bike, I'm gonna have the fucking proper fucking thing. I'll have shoulder pads on like I'm playing football. There's no way I'd be too cool for a helmet. That's fucking insane. Now, I am also too cool for a seatbelt, but that's just because of my own fucked up brain that I have. But Kenny was great. I worked with him in the with the trucks. I didn't really know him from comedy. Actually, I worked with him when we worked in the moving company. So we I actually have a sort of a weird kind of a loopy way of knowing him, kind of. You know what I mean? I don't think we ever did a show together. We hung out some nights at the cellar, got drunk. He came down to the shows sometime, and also now I feel fucking bad too because he was supposed to do my Tuesday night comedy show, and every Tuesday night downtown socialism. A, B, P, always be plugging. Just in the middle of a eulogy. You can check out the Patreon, folks. Anyway, Kenny, and it was interesting. I didn't realize how nice he was. I knew he was a nice guy, but I didn't realize that he was kind of like a universally known nice guy. I actually always just knew him as one of the Chicago boys. They took over the knitting factory when Hannibal left it. I never got to play that room because it was always for the cool kids, and they would all twerk and shit after the shows. I always thought it was posers. I never appreciated that. I never appreciated any of the comedians that hung out there and shit like that. But Kenny was actually a nice guy, and that actually reminds me, Kenny was gonna jump on a project I'm working on. So now he's not gonna do that. So obviously, anyway, yeah. Look, it's just sad. Look, but we're getting to the age now. Fucking everyone's just gonna be dead. I'm 33, so it's only a matter of time. By the time I'm 40, I'm not gonna know anyone. That's just the way it is. Everyone's gonna die. and there's a certain point you get the nice few years in your life. And I'm very lucky. No one I've ever really cared about or known has died. You know, sure, my grandparents and my little sister, all these type of people that passed away. The little sister was a joke. But yeah, shout out to Kenny. But it's comedy is full of scumbags. Now I'm not on Instagram. I am kind of, but I have a new app that blocks it. So called 1 Sec. Go check that out, folks. Cannot recommend it enough. 1 Sec. It's like it blocks the app for you, and it doesn't even block it. It just sort of makes it harder for you to get on it. And I've stopped using it completely. So I'm not on Instagram. So I'm not surrounded by. But every time a comedian dies, it is used, and you could argue that this is right now, but although this isn't a podcast, I'm just checking in, you could argue that I'm using his death now to promote something or some shit like that. I don't fucking know, but every time a comedian dies, other comedians are compelled to talk about how much it means to them, the time you were at an open mic and he came over and said, hey, your shoelace is untied, and you just knew what a pure soul. And they over talk about like the potential and the comedy. They're always like, oh, when fuckhead died, every comedian would come in and they would, at the back of the room, no comedian had more respect from the other comedians at the back of the room, and he was gonna be great. And like, yeah, you're like, I was there, no one gave a fuck about him. You know, I'm not on Instagram, so I don't know what these people, but I know how it works. They're scum. If you knew them, you say, whatever, rest in peace. No one needs to know about the time you swapped spots. The clubs do it too. Scumbags. Clubs are scum. And although I perform at the Stand and the Cellar and Brooklyn Comedy Club all the time, I would love to just not have to. I'd love to do my own shit. But, you know, clubs come out too whenever someone dies. Rest in peace. The community will be lost. And then you go, well, why are you booking them? When they were around, this is I'm not talking about Kenny because I'm not on Instagram, so I didn't see any of this. But I could fucking bet $1,000 to some prick who probably never even met the guy and go, "Oh, the world is a much lesser place now," and they just attach themselves to shit. But I know Kenny released a special this year. Did any of these people share it? They all loved them. Were they sharing it? Again, I don't know. I'm not on Instagram. Again, this is a podcast. I'm just checking in, but. Every time someone dies, it really shows you the scummy fucking people that are out there. They find a way to... Do you know how many times I've seen a post too where someone dies and they go, I didn't know so-and-so, but... And you go, well, then shut the fuck up. I didn't know that. Shut the fuck up then. If you fucking didn't know him. But what I will say is, and I didn't know that... I really didn't know how much... Kenny meant to so many people. So, you know, rest in peace, and I hope his family and everyone that knew him, loved him, are doing all right. And it's a fucking sad way to go. Kind of going out on top if you're him. Not, and I mean this in my own kind of, is it empathetic or suicidal way or whatever, but, you know, you live old, you see all the potential that you didn't fulfill, and you get ugly and you got back pain, and the prices, the inflation's through the roof. You know, like you go out like that, it's just, you know, it's sad for everyone else, obviously, but you're dead then, so it doesn't really matter to you because you're gone. So, ideally, if I was to go, I would like something like that. Now, when Kenny died, everyone wrote down about how nice of a guy he was. Super nice. What a single soul. Not a single soul would write that about me, and I'm okay with that. What are you going to say about your funeral? They're going to say, you know what? He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. He hated interracial couples, and he stuck to his guns. No one says I'm a nice boy. No, fuck it. I don't know. I don't have a nice gene in my body. I don't know. We're raised different, but I'm glad he did, and he helped so many people. But certainly wouldn't happen for me. And the Chicago guys always had a good clique, and I always hated them because I wasn't in the clique. But the Chicago guys always did it right. When they moved from Chicago, they took over the New York scene, and they helped each other out, and they all lived together. And you know, the Chicago guys, when you moved to New York, you had 2-3 years on anyone else. Someone else came up from fucking Kentucky, they went straight to the bottom. You know what I mean? Even Florida, all these guys. There's no Florida. The Chicago is a fucking community, and they look after each other, and this way it should be. I'd love to do that with the Irish someday, man. Although last time my special came out, very, very few people from Ireland were sharing it. All of the comedians that I started out with, that I assumed would kind of be like, hey, good for Colum, actually doing something, getting up off my fucking ass and moving to a different country to actually achieve something rather than sitting around waiting for fucking the Holy Ghost to show up and give me $1 million. But no, not a single fucking peep out of those fucking sheep fucking cunts back home. So they can all fuck themselves too. But I always would like to have set up, like, I'd love to do some sort of like almost like Joe Rogan's club. Anyway, and have like the bunch of Irish comedians come over, and then they work the club. You know what I mean? Like younger guys, and they were like waiters or door staff or whatever. That would be my long term goal if I was ever to be able to achieve anything. I did have one question, not a podcast, not a question. By the way, so head over to the Patreon, get the year for 1008. R.I.P. Kenny DeForest. We do questions on the Patreon. If you want to get your question on the podcast, this isn't a podcast, by the way, because none of the questions were very good this week. But you can have it there. Patreon.com. Only $1 a month. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This is from the artist formerly known as Vince. What do you think about the Dublin Mad Lads? I never talked about this, but a few weeks ago there was and I don't know much about it, right? And this is why I didn't, and I'm not there. So fundamentally, what happened was a few weeks ago there was a tragedy where some guy, foreign guy, he stabbed an Irish woman and her 2 kids outside of school in the city centre. I believe everyone lived. I believe one of the kids was seriously hurt at the time. And then that the stabber, who was never named, all they know is he was a non-national. He got the living shit kicked out of him by actually a Brazilian guy, a Deliveroo driver, which is their version of like Seamless. And because of that, it went online, got far. Then there was a lot of fights. There was like, when they say riots, it was like riots in Ireland aren't like that much. There's like a few hundred people out there like trying to fucking kick the doors in off Foot Locker. That's what all riots are, just fucking scumbags robbing shoes. But I don't know. I'm not there. It's been nearly 10 years since, be 10 years in September since I left. And so I don't know the temperature, the social climate right now, and what's going on over there. All I know is you're not, whatever the problem is, it's not the immigrants' fault, in my opinion. You might have some sort of fucking, sure, you might want to call for tighter immigration policy, kind of the same way with gun control, that type of shit, right? Where you go, we're not trying to take away the guns, we just want better, we just want less people who are mentally insane shooting up a bunch of kids. And it's probably the same with that over there in Ireland. But again, once COVID happened, so many people are against the pandemic, lockdowns and the vaccines and shit like that, and then they kind of got caught up in that group. Then suddenly it was a lot of sort of right-wing ideology. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't take much for young Dublin lads to riot, you know? They did it fucking 15 years ago when the Queen visited. They did it. They've done it loads of times when fucking they had the UN had one of their meetings. There was a bunch of cop cars burnt on fire and shit like that. So look, they went out and they rioted or whatever, and a lot of people want immigrants to go back to their country, which is kind of fucking insane, considering the Irish are the most probably emigrated fucking nation on earth. You know, how many times has what other country has had so few people had such a bigger influence on nothing relevant but pubs, you know? Like New Zealand. When did you ever hear about anyone from New Zealand? Never. So that's that. All I say is these what happens is it comes from a point. I do feel like you're being distracted, and you know it's almost like a fucking meme at this point where it's like they make you fight each other. The top percent or whoever it is, people in charge who get richer, and you get fucked, and that's just the way it is. And then you fight each other because you're fighting over the scraps while they're getting fat. While these big fat pigs fucking we shall build more hotels. Fuck the people that live here. More hotels. We shall sell the property to foreign nationals who will raise the rent because they're not the ones getting kicked out. That's the people you should be fucking fighting, is the Jews up the top, right? Really, if we're being honest. We'll be right back after this. But that's who you should be fighting, really. And look, it's the same. I saw a thing recently that said apparently the football hooligans in England, the football violence over there is on the rise again. And that's usually, it's a sign of like an economic hardship where they're looking for an expression. People, the forgotten parts of society. And I know in America, when you talk about that, it gets very racial. And unfortunately, that's the case over here. But fortunately for us in Ireland, we don't have any black people, so it doesn't get very racial. It's just poors versus the rich. So that's that. Yeah. So I don't really know what. All I know is that a lot of younger people, they're not doing well. They don't have any money. Life is bleak and shit. And they need an outlet to blame, you know? Your common enemy is not bad. Currahy! I watched Band of Brothers with fucking Ross from Friends. He's like, "You're going up Currahy!" And I read that apparently him being such a cunt to all the recruits while they were training for World War II, it was actually good for them because they needed a common enemy. And that can help you. That can help you. You know the way chicks do it when they all go on holiday together and when they come back and they go, "Susan's a fucking cunt. We don't like her anymore." And you need a common enemy to be bond over. So that Curry thing's funny. I've been jogging too. I've been trying to get healthy. I've been hitting the fucking. I've been going jogging and stuff like that. And then every time I start getting fucking real tough, I just picture Ross from Friends just going, "You're going up Currahy! Currahy!" By the way, I started doing yoga, right? Not very good. I'm really bad at it, if you can be bad at it. No, I've no idea what's going on. By the way, my hips are fucked. My ass is fucked. I've got a sore ass, fellas. Don't ask. From the yoga, I don't know. I've got bad hips, so that's why I've got bad hips. So I've been going to yoga to try to fucking I don't want to be just curled up in a ball by the time I'm 60, you know. So I've been going there, and it's pretty good, you know. I can do about 20 to 25 minutes before I'm fucked, and then by the end of it, I can't even pay attention. I'm just like looking out the window. I don't know the moves, all that type of shit. You know, there's a smell of crusty pussy in there too. It's hippy dippy horseshit. This is the issue with all this stuff too. Is like you go in there, it's like, hey, nice. It's yoga, which is what? Sort of a decent Pilates style, kind of a stretchy, worky out thing. You get a nice couple of chicks in fucking with their ass crack showing. You know, you got some fat old bitch with her big long toenails that smells like fish. It's yoga. But then afterwards, then there's like, and guys, if you guys want to stay around, we're going to be doing a fucking. We're going to have a mind reader in or some shit. You know. We're gonna have a cryptic or a skeptic, is it? And that doesn't tell you who you are in an afterlife, in the previous life. It's all like weird shit. Can you not just do the one thing? Or do you have to just keep pushing and pushing? That's why you all fall into cults. Every cult needs you to be stretching. Every fucking cult there is there's a guy who's telling you to fucking do downward dog. What is it about the fucking... Am I going to be in a cult? Because every week they all have the same shit tattoos, whatever. I was in there anyway the other day. Good as shit. Did my workout. Did my little workout, and it was good. At the very end of it, you're like, it's all peaceful, and you feel good, because after 20 minutes I need to leave, because I just don't have the strength or the flexibility to do it. And I'm leaving, and there's a receptionist there. You're right. And I'm genuinely, I can say this, I was at peace. All right? I was at peace. You know, that type of shit. And then the girl, the instructor, fucking what a piece of ass! And I've had them all over the town. She was the best piece of ass I've ever had. She was whatever the show, whatever the fuck you call it, the workout ends, and there was like a real peaceful moment, and she was like, "Thank you for today. Remember, you guys did a good job." Blah blah blah. And I genuinely was like, I feel good, and it's very rare that I'm not just full of rage. And I'm like, I was like, you know what? I get it. Hippy dippy horseshit. Stretching and namasteing. I feel good. And then I was like, you know what? I wanted to get a schedule of the classes, just put on my fridge, so at least I know. Was like, oh, if I happen to have a random Wednesday afternoon, I go, oh, there's a class on, maybe I'll go down and do a class. And I went to the receptionist, but I'm in a hurry. I need to leave. I'm not in a hurry for anything particular, but I want to fucking go. And the girl who's working there, and I think she's in charge, right? She has someone else talking to her, and they're talking about nothing. They're blabbing about their husbands or some shit like that, and I kind of. You know, and they look at me and they keep talking, and I'm standing there like, all right. So then I go and grab my jacket and I come back, and then I'm standing there, and then they look and they ignore. They're not talking about Anne, but they're talking intensely. But you think you don't, and I mean, when I went from minus, I was on reversing, I was so calm, to 100 in 4 fucking seconds. I've never been more angry that fast from. Literally, it's like, you know, when you do drugs like ecstasy or whatever, and then the next day it's the best night of your life. Next day you want to kill yourself. That come down, I had a reverse come down. I had to come up. Is it? I was feeling happy, hippie, crappy, hippy dippy bullshit, and I went from fucking minus 10 to fuck. I had my fist. I wanted to put my fist through that bitch's face. Soak the idea that she was working there, and I'm waiting in line. She could tell I'm waiting in there, and they had nothing to talk about. They weren't talking about Anne, and then eventually she said, okay, bye. And they said, what? Hi, can I help you? They weren't talking about Anne. They were just having a fucking chat. Just having a fucking chat. And I go, do you have a piece of paper that has all the menus? They go, no, you're going to have to go online. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And she goes, yeah, we just changed them too regularly so that it's not the case. And it's just whatever. And I was like, okay. So after all that, didn't even have what I'm looking for. And then she says something. She goes, any excuse to save the trees, and I will fucking kill. You want me to get the app, though? You want me to get the app on the phone? Our phone's good for the environment now? Fuck the trees. Let's get a couple of fucking little Francis Ngannou's dying in the fucking coal mines in Africa so we can have an app. So you can save a fucking tree. Never in my life have I been that angry. Honestly, I need... I'd never gone from genuinely, I thought I was a new man. For about 28 seconds, I was like, this is it. I'm going to get like a tattoo that points somewhere and it means forever or whatever. I was like, maybe I'll stop cutting my toenails. You know, maybe I'll become an instructor. Maybe I will sit down in this drum circle and find out who I was in the previous life, you know? And then her just ignoring me, to me, literally, hands behind my back, squeezing a fist, imagining whoom, through that bitch's face. So I don't know if I need to do more yoga or less yoga, whatever. Anyway, not a podcast. It wasn't a podcast. Go to the patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. Get your questions in there if you want. And RIP Kenny DeForest. Bye.